That guy is out the mud for sure, for sure. Here we go now. Let's get him on here.
What up, Benny?
J Rock, J5, what's up, baby?
I'm going.
Good, man. You look good, boy. They
I
feed
appreciate that, man. They got me out here working, dog.
they feeding you out there. They treating you well out there.
Oh yeah, yeah. The whole nine. This is all love out here.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Listen, man, I already know you had a long day, brother. I'm not gonna take too much of your time, but for one, I definitely appreciate you hopping on with me, man.
No
Um,
doubt.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of backstory of what I'm doing with this. You know what I'm saying? You gotta excuse the bandana. I'm doing two things. I got a little situation going on up here, and I'm also trying
Uh,
to show love to the Cali.
nah, I'm already know. I'm already
You know what
know.
I'm saying? I'm trying to show love to the Cali vibes, West Coast. Y'all like
Yep.
bandanas and all that.
Yeah.
But nah, so what I'm doing, man, is for one, like I said, I appreciate you hopping on, man. Because simply like, this is also so I'm forming this thing. It's called Out the Mud, right? Um,
Mm.
and first of all, we're gonna get into all of it. I got plenty of backstory on you, man. But like for me, this is about giving the guys that got theirs out the mud the opportunity to speak on it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us, and I know for you, for yourself, like I was there to witness a lot of your story and a lot of the beginning. I remember the beginning for J5, but the reason why I reached out to you is because I was thinking to myself like, man, it's a lot of people out here that won't get the opportunity to really come on and just showcase exactly what they had to go through to get to where they at. And
Yeah.
you have a unique story, that a lot of people don't necessarily, go through to get to where you at. And I know you still, got a lot left and got a lot more to tell, but I think that it's necessary for right now, especially post pandemic, that you and I engage and fellowship and for you to tell your story to the masses because I think it needs to be said. And I remember and I going down my list of people thinking like, you know what, who could I bring on, man? Like who could I really tap into? Like you was high on my list just because of what you did, where you started from, how you got to this point because I was following you from a distance. So,
Mhm.
I'm saying obviously this is out the mud, man. We bringing it back with another one. Came back, last week had a Division II All-American on. He shared his story, but I wanted to make sure I got with you because what I'm saying you started from really from the bottom. You know what I mean? We talking Jersey. You know what I mean? And before we do all that, I gotta make sure I get this check from Cutwater, man. You need to tap into these. I don't know if they got these down in Cali, but you know what I'm
No, I
saying?
mean, send me a tag. I might need to check him out.
Yeah, you got to tap into these, man. Cutwater, they got different flavors and all that. It's real calm. They got some 12.5% alcohol. It's real simple. But
Mhm.
yeah, man, I got you, man. Jaylan Lawson, man. J5. You know what I'm saying? Coming from Monmouth Junction, Jersey. That's Monmouth County, right?
Nah, that's actually Middlesex County.
Oh, Middlesex. Okay, okay, yeah. See,
Yeah.
I recruited DMV. So when I was at Albright, I wasn't there, but you know what I'm saying, man? Like I remember the beginning, man, but I want you to tell me, like, you know what I'm saying, for you, let's go all the way back. We could talk about, the all conference. We could talk about first team. We could talk about the championships. We're gonna get into all that, but just take me back to that, man, from the beginning down there in Jersey. Like, how was that for you?
So ball in Jersey, man, it was pretty cool. Like the competition all around Jersey is raw. So you're gonna get competition regardless. I played in a pretty high conference, so we even saw some prep schools such as like Bergen Catholic, Modern Day. So we was getting good competition. So I really started playing ball at South Brunswick when I was like 8, and
Okay.
just to speed it up to the high school, I came in as a wide receiver. They told me I couldn't play both ways freshman year. I always wanted to play wide receiver. Growing up seeing T.O., all them guys, I just wanted to be in the end zone and the spotlights. So they said, hey, you pretty solid at safety. Let's get you back there, free safety. So I played that out freshman year. I was liking it. I could still get the ball, making plays, hits. So I pretty much fell in love playing DB when I was about 14 at an early age. And then
Gotcha.
after that season, they moved me up at the end of that season to varsity. And then that's where it just kind of took off me. Sophomore year, I started getting a lot more action. Sophomore year, I played my first varsity snap after one of our starters, Phil Campbell. He actually played at Pittsburgh out in Pitt as a linebacker. And then I started getting more plays in junior. That's when it really kicked off me in my recruiting. And I started getting a lot more looks.
Got you, man. So this thing, man, football is necessary, obviously. And
Yeah,
that's a big part of this thing. But for me, it's like they need to understand how it all started. You know what I mean? So like tell me about just growing up, like for you, because I didn't ask you this when you was at Albright, but like how was it growing up for you, man? Did you have siblings? Was the folks around? Like how was that? How did
yeah.
you get into this whole football space?
The funny thing is, actually, I didn't even want to play football for real. I just wanted to be a ball player. I wanted to be like AI right there, Kobe, all the greats, man. I was playing ball, I was playing basketball, and then I was playing a little bit of soccer, and I was really good at soccer actually. So I fell towards that a little bit more. Both my parents, man, they weren't born in the States. My dad was born in Jamaica, and my mom was born in Trinidad. And I ended up coming here when I was say like 15, 13 years old, around that age. They grew up in Brooklyn, East Flatbush. So they had a hard rough bang in themselves. And then kind of to me, I grew up, I was born and raised in Brooklyn too. And then I got out of that situation. I was like 4 or 5 years old and only having that lifestyle. And just to keep me kind of like, occupied when I was younger, they always had me in sports. And then one day my brother, so I'm from New York, I moved to Cherry Hill, which is like not far from Philly. Um, I was just playing soccer, like I said there, and then I moved to South Brunswick and Middlesex, and then it's like we got to get these boys involved. We got to get them something going. We got to get them socialized and just keep them out of trouble, really. Uh, so she put my brother in football. I was just doing my own thing, and then my coach seen me one day, and Jake Rodriguez, great coach, man, great coach, really changed my life around. He saw me, and was like, yeah, we got to get this kid on the field. So I started off playing kicker, just 'cause I was playing soccer. I had a leg on me. And then I played kicker from about, I'll say like 8 to 11 years old, man. And then I really started working out and like catching passes. I want to play receiver. So like 12th grade, not 12th grade, when I was 12 years old, started playing receiver a little more behind guys, and I got better. And then my 8th grade year, that's when it really took off for me. I was just get a crazy growth spurt. I was bigger than everybody. I was a little bit quicker back then. So I was really dominating. And then my coach, I remember one time after my first touchdown, my coach said, "You're gonna go to school for free one day." And back then I know that man. I was like, nah, man, I don't know. I don't got it like these other guys do. Man, they've been doing this their whole life. I'm really just getting my feet in the water right now. And then since then I want to be a receiver. But I got a little brother named Justin, man. He played ball. He got the he played quarterback really. He was a quarterback all through middle school. He set the school record there. Went crazy. He had a season of like 17 touchdowns, 1,500 passing yards. He was a dog. Then in high school, he played quarterback freshman year. Then he played strong safety, linebacker, and really excelled. Ended up being one of the top players out of the school playing football. So that's good for him. That really made me happy as an older brother.
That's what's up, man. I was gonna ask you about that if like, what I'm saying, if you had the siblings, but I did read you was from New York, man. You was from Flatbush?
Yeah, well, I stayed at my grandma's house at the time, in East Flatbush and Lenox around that area.
Yeah, because that's where Casanova's from, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you was young and over in that time. So like, do you remember anything? Anything you can remember from there? Because I know you said you're
What
yeah,
I remember really is just like my cousins, man. We just go to the basketball court and we just ball play hoops. But you see all type of stuff with the basketball court. It's not always ball players there, like as you
right.
know, being in Philly and all that. So I seen a lot of stuff at a young age that I knew like I shouldn't get involved in. Like my cousins even told me like you don't want this lifestyle, just stay focused on ball, man. So they just kept me occupied really. They just saw something different for me than themselves, one of the stars for me. So they just kept encouraging me and pushing me.
Got you.
And that's what really pushed my parents to get us out of New York and move to Jersey.
I got you. Okay. So it's crazy, J5 is I hear that a lot, right? I hear, they saw something in me and he said that you want to make some money doing this and you'll go to school for free. So like talk to me about that transition. You go to Jersey. All right, you
Mhm.
end up in South Brunswick. You end up playing at the high school there. Was it a easy transition? Was it hard? Was there anything that you feel like at that time you could have done better? Or is there anything that you feel like, you was there and it was like, hey, I'm gonna just rock out. I'm just a new kid on the block. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make it happen.
So when I got there, I was pretty much in like second, 3rd grade. It was different because everybody like they went to school together before that, kindergarten, so they knew each other. It was all clicked up. And then during that time, like me and my brother, we're 2 years apart. So like during recess and like whatever, we would just kick it together. Really, I wasn't making too much friends my first year there, really. Then I got more comfortable there, like meshed with some kids, and then we started playing ball together, so we got even closer throughout school. And then I just felt comfortable there. Felt like the home environment was all love there. So South Brunswick, man, that's a school spot. It's a lot of talent there too that came out.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I didn't I wasn't fortunate enough to recruit Jersey, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I definitely know about the talent that come out there. But you mentioned your brother a lot. Like how's that relationship? How was that relationship growing up? I don't know a lot about him, so if you wouldn't mind
Yeah,
sharing. But like how was that growing up having a brother? Because I'm an only child, so I don't have
yeah,
siblings to really kind of lean on and motivate. But like for you, how was that relationship then? And how is it now? Like are y'all still cool? Y'all good? Like what's going on
yeah,
there?
yeah. That's my dog for sure. Growing up, we was like best friends, man. Like, there's nothing we ain't do together. Like, if I'm doing something, he doing it with me. If he got an issue, I got an issue too. And it's not the third. We just always click up together. Like, if he doing something wrong, we do it wrong right with you. If something good, we're gonna do it together. You know, that's just my brother. But as we got older, I feel like he's more like stay to himself type of kid. But he always had friends. He was in the sports. He's always positive, outgoing, energetic kid. So he always had friends around him, or people want to be friends with him. But it was a little different. He just kind of to himself. In high school is when he stayed back because we always went to school together. We was 2 years apart. But when he stayed in middle school and I went to high school, that's when I feel like we kind of started like losing touch with each other. Like I was in a different growth period than he was, and but yeah, we was always close, man. And me being the older brother really showed me an example. Like whatever I'm gonna do, like I said, we're gonna do it together. So whatever I do, I gotta make sure it's right and show them the right way to do it. The
Right.
same way my cousins had taught me. So like I can't be doing something bad. If I'm doing something I think it's okay, he gonna think it's okay too. So I just had to set the example, man, and just walk in the right footsteps for him.
Now, who was I asked this question before, and I always ask, especially to like the young guys. You know, every hood legend has an OG, right? Every
Mhm.
somebody that kind of like, put their hand on your shoulder and said, "Listen, Jaylan, like you got it." You know what I'm saying? You need to stay you and your brother. Like who was that OG, for you that it could be parent, it could be coach, whatever, but who was that your OG at a young age that really put in this perspective? Like this is how I need to move, this is how I need to act, that kind of gave
Yeah.
you them mannerisms to move forward and what you got going on.
Definitely one of my close friends, and I moved to South Brunswick, and I got into high school, and middle school. One of my longtime friends, he had recently passed away, rest his soul. Wendell Allen, he had really showed me like I started losing love for ball a little bit when I got to sophomore year, and I got moved up. I felt real discouraged. I realized like, I'm not the best guy anymore. These guys are the better than me. And he pretty much instilled in me, man, just stay focused, man, mission focused. Just put your head down and grind. Whatever you do in the dark really gonna come in the light. And it's like you got it in you. Like these coaches gonna be pushing you this hard. I wouldn't be talking to you right now or giving you this information. I think you ain't got it in you. We just gotta keep grinding,
Right.
and then it's gonna work out eventually. So
This was
like
your
he always
this was
kept
your
my say that one time.
this was your friend, your close friend.
Yeah, yeah, he was older
Okay.
than me. He's about 3 years older than me, 2 years.
Okay. Yeah.
And then yeah, my nephew just always worked out, give me rides every now and then. Like whenever mom could take me to school, I missed the bus. So it was just always making sure I was straight and like and level headed.
Got you. What was his name again?
Wendell Allen, he
Oh,
was
Wendell.
yeah, he played at Monmouth and he was South Brunswick team championship team too.
Got you. Yeah, R.I.P. Wendell, man. I mean, we all definitely need a big homie for sure. Um, so we get to South Brunswick. You obviously get a ring early in your career. Told me to do that because I've never won a championship. I don't know if you knew
Yeah.
that, but taught me through that process, like being that young and seeing that success young. Like I don't know much about South Brunswick, but like were they a powerhouse? Were you hip to what they had going on, or was this kind of like a new
Yeah.
thing that was going on with them in your age and your time of your life?
So it was really a new thing that was going on. We got a new coaching staff that came through, I'll say around like 2012 throughout 2018.
Mm,
And within those years, they boasted 4 championship appearances. And that just really changed the community around. So like, so when they got there, they had guys that were playing like Muhammad Sanu, TJ Taylor at a young age. I was just seeing these guys just dominate people. And I'm like, dang. Then the coaches came through and they just turned the program around. So my sophomore year, really, when I made it to the championship team, that 2016 team, when I was on as young age, at 15 years old, I'm like, man, I'm playing. I feel like I'm playing with guys in the league, man. Guys in college, like these guys are really out here trying to do some damage on the field. Like there's some dogs for real. And they just like set that kind of standard to everybody on the team and the young guys. Like, you got to play up to this level. You're not gonna get the hang, man. So at a young age, you just gotta buckle up and just go to work. Really.
Wow. Okay. So early in the game, I mean, so how many? So you said Muhammad Sanu in there, and who else?
A couple guys out of town like that made it big. Really, like
Okay.
yeah, especially from that 2016 team.
2016 was the year because you were in. I was there in 16 at Albright. You came
I came 18.
18, so 16 was your sophomore year. That was the year that they
Yeah.
came. Okay. So then when did it click for you, Five? Like when did it start to like because you were playing early a little bit, but when did it really click like that transition of okay, I could be good at this. Like it could happen for me. Like when did that happen?
Yeah. I'll say really 2017, the following season, my junior year, I really started going to a lot of camps after the 2016 season. So I was going against a lot of competition that I wasn't seeing in my conference, just trying to elevate my game, going to the Nike opening and all type of stuff like that. So and once I had coaches start looking out at me, man, asking me questions, it really sparked a light in my heart saying, like, man, they're looking at me, I could do this. Like, I must be able to have to do it because if they think I could do it, I got it in me some way. And then that 2015 season, I really just elevated my game. Things I didn't even see. I played running back, slot, receiver, needed safety. Then I played all three sides of the ball, so they're really using me.
So you got to talk to me about playing at Rutgers Stadium. Like,
Yeah, that's
I, you got to just like explain the build up, explain. I know it was a championship. You did your thing.
mhm.
Obviously, there's gonna be film attached here. I already went on huddle and did all that.
Mhm.
But talk to me about like that experience for you. Playing at that stadium for the
That
championship.
stadium, man, my senior year, that's a perfect senior year that any high school student want, any high school football player want.
Right.
And I remember one day, like for camp, we didn't do no regular camp. We would always go up in the up in the mountains in Pennsylvania playing Lycombe, and we go over there. We'll stay there for about a week and do camp there. And it really shows that the struggles with your brothers, man, it brings you guys close net together. And we doing everything. We going through hell and bad. We laughing, bleeding, crying, doing everything together, man. So and one day we just chilling, talking. The captains and I said, we're gonna get a ring this year. So, and me and these guys have been playing since Pop One. This is something we always dreamed of. We just established it then. Like we're gonna make this happen. And then going into that season, we just kept dominating and dominating. We just kind of shocked everybody. But leading up to that championship game, man, walking out of Rutgers Stadium in the tunnel, the big crowd, bigger crowd than I expected for the hometown. And then the whole community was there. Manalapan, we played Manalapan, they was there too. So just hearing the roar, man, it was crazy and it's kind of overwhelming a little bit. And I had to take a step back.
Wow, man. Yeah, I was watching. I mean, obviously I followed you, like I said, but seeing that was huge. Now, all right, we finished the senior year, you wrap up, you go out on your sword, you win a ring, the recruiting process. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. Well, talk me through that because I know where you ended up, but talk me through the process. Like, what was going on and leading you into the direction that you ended up getting to? Like, was you getting a lot of offers? Was you getting because you was nice, like you was the man. I saw you, you was snapping, but what was that like?
Leading up to the recruiting process, it really after the championship happened and settled down, we go to winter break, and I'm expecting a lot of coaches to come in and talk to me. But it was a really discouraging time for me, man. To that point, I really knew what I was capable of and what I bring to the table for people in that program, and I feel like I wasn't getting that love and attention from everybody. And I started to look around, and I started like pointing fingers at everybody. And the one thing my coach brought me down is like it's not them. They can't do anything. They want to offer you but your grades. They can't take you. They can't offer you with your grades. So then I just have to look back in the mirror and like, damn man, like I need to buckle down to change this. So I started studying for my SETs and ACTs. I'm not the best test taker in the world. That's not one of my strong suits for sure. And I just couldn't get my GPA was too low to match my SAT. You know how they got to level up together.
Right.
So that was something that really set me back. And I'm seeing guys in my conference go places that I know I should be at or above them. And it really sucked, man. Because one day I had a D2 offer for Assumption, and they wanted me to. I was gonna sign that signing day the night before. I told my mom, "Listen, mom, I'm gonna sign. Gonna phone the coach with the woo." And they're waiting just to get my transcripts through and process that whole part. I was like, "Hey, coach, man, I love the visit, man. I'm excited to go. Like I'm ready to commit." It's, oh, Jaylan, man, I was just about to call you. Like, it didn't go through. We can't get you here, man. I'm sorry. And my heart just broke, man. It was signing day and signing. It was cool. Like everybody signing at my school. I had no signing party, so it really hurt me a little bit. And then I felt like I was bigger than everybody else. So I was kind of putting all the D3 looks to the side. And all them. Like, I'm not going D3, man. Like, nah, I don't want to go to HU coach. Like, but yeah, that's when then I took my visit to Albright. They told them my situation. Felt like number love and the home fit there. I had its ups and downs for sure. It was a roller coaster on my period there. Then I made my commitment to Albright, and then I attended camp that August.
Wow. So real quick, I mean, you were offered by Assumption and they pulled the offer?
I wouldn't say offered. I would say they had interest in me, and I told
Okay.
them I was ready to commit. And then they
Okay.
potentially offered me if my transcript matched out.
Oh, got it. Got it. Okay. So then yeah, so I'm gonna share this story too because I get to Albright. I'm at Albright since 2017 or 2016. I get there in the spring. And every summer we have our little recruiting camps and everything like that. And then we get into the season, so we're going through the roster and everything, and I know you and Coach Yerger was recruiting you, right?
Mhm.
He was recruiting you.
Yep. Yeah.
So they're talking about all these guys, and they're like, yeah, we got this one. We're going down the list, and they're like, well, this guy right here, like Jaylan Lawson, and I'm hearing the name, and I'm, the regular coach. Okay, that's what's up. And then I see you, and then I'm like you got to look like, cause I've been in D3 for a minute, and I'm like, the D3 players got to look. You know what I mean? It's not like they're not built like everybody. But then I
Yeah.
see, you, and I'm like, hey, yo, he kind of look different. 20, he got the 21 on, and you got this one arm sleeve, and I'm like, nah, he not supposed to. Like, in my head, and this is me in my head, because this is a very raw, candid conversation. I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
first team all area. We're talking, Group 5 champion in Central Jersey. But I'm looking at you, I'm like, something different about this dude, man. He ain't supposed to be here. So for you, when you get to Albright, and this is mainly, and this is educational purposes, Five. You get
Yep.
to Albright, you just said you're better than that. How did you humble yourself? How did you say, I'm here, I'm going to do what I need to do and make the most of it? What was that process for you like? Because I know what I was thinking from day one, but what was going through your mind?
Man, when I got to campus, it was really surreal. Like, dang, I'm in college, man. I did it. Like, but I'm not done yet. So that was that first stepping stone for me. It's like I'm gonna be the man on campus. I'm gonna make sure like I'm a dog. Everybody's gonna know who I am. When I first got there, I remember in the first day of camp in the defensive back meeting, Coach Yerger told me I was gonna play corner. So that also set me back. I'm like, whoa, corner, you brought me for safety. Like I never played corner a day in my life. He's like, Gary, one of our top recruits. If we know you can do it, this and the third. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm still here. I'm gonna get potential to play with the first guys. I was like, let's do it. And I'm going through camp. First day, I tweaked my hamstring, so I had to sit out like a day or two, something like that. And then it set me back. And I'm just watching the guys practice. I'm just observing, taking it all in. And oh yeah, I can do this.
Mm.
What really sparked me at D3 was, I believe, our first scrimmage was against Wesley College.
Yeah, it was Wesley. Yep.
I'm back on kick return. I'm looking, and as soon as I hear the whistle for the kickoff, tunnel vision. I locked in. I reached a different something I never felt before, and I'm visualizing. I'm like, oh yeah, it's going right there. I'm taking it right there, and I see the ball kick off. I'm like, yo, I remember what's his name, Dickey, cool guy, senior Dickey. I'm like, Dickey, you need to block me on this one. I get the ball and I just take off. I'm bringing it out, and
Yeah, I
almost
remember
returned it.
that, John. Yeah, you did. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
almost returned it. I'm taking it
Yeah,
back. Ankle get cut. On that sideline. He was right there. He's like, "Hey, pick your knees up, man." I'm like,
yeah,
"Yeah." Nah,
you
gas
definitely
tank
got
almost got
busy.
empty on me. And then the defensive series started. I get a TFL in the backfield.
All
And
right.
then week one, the same thing happened at corner. 5 yard TFL against Salisbury University. And like, yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna make this happen.
So I know that, it was a decision that was tough, right? But I think for everybody that's going to pay attention to this, and I got, I don't have a big following, but it'll eventually get there. But for the people that's going to follow your career, like myself, that's going to listen to this, you had outside noise that was probably like, yo, he playing D3. Like
Yeah.
you had some haters. I know you did. So like, how did you manifest to block all that out? Like, how did you manifest to put those egos aside and say, yeah, I'm here, but I'm gonna be the best J5 I could be? Like, what was that concept like for you?
That was really just thinking back to my cousins and my big homie when Dell had told me like, hey, just put your head down, go to work. Like, what you doing like gonna show? And I remember this one time I was out. I was just like one of the first weekends back. I was out with other students. We was chilling, a little party, whatever. And I just take a step back from the party. And I look around and I'm just taking it all in. I'm like, what am I doing here? And I started listening to the voices in the head. Like, you're going D3. You're better than D3. I shouldn't be going here, this, and the third. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong. I'll make it to the league at D3. For a fact, I'll be one of the first guys in this conference to go to the league. And I remember at that time there was a guy at was it Misericordia or Wilkes, I believe, one of the two, Misericordia or Wilkes. There's a guy that had scouts looking at him at the Browns, and we played that game. And after that game, I looked at my stats and looked at his stats. I had 13 tackles and 4 PBUs. I'm like, yeah, I can do this.
That was Misericordia at Misericordia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did go crazy that game. That was the game when Kamal had the pick that they called back and should have won.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you right. Uh-huh. Wow. Yeah, dog. I remember that game, man. And I just remember you being, the one thing I always say about you, man, regardless of, your how good we all as a staff thought you were and the players thought you were, the one thing I always respected about you that, I don't know how many people have told you, probably a bunch, and if not, they should, is just like how grounded you are and how humble you are about knowing how good you are, but not making it amongst the masses. It was never about you at all, Bright. Like you was one of the quietest dudes that I ever had the opportunity to share the field with as far as like coach player. And not to talk bad about nobody because that's not what this is about, but like for you, you were head and shoulders above everybody else, and we saw that. But for me personally, like I always gravitated towards you because of who you surrounded yourself with and the type of person you were. Like, and the fact that you were just so humble about being you were a giant. Like you were a giant at Albright, but you were a humble giant. And that's what I always appreciated about you, man. That's why I wanted to really like lock in and get with you, to tell you that as a man. And, if I haven't told you that before, because I remember you asking me about receiver tips, and I'm like, yo, bro, like you're gonna be a all conference, all American Division III DB. Why are you trying to receiver? But at the
Yeah.
time, if you remember, it was spring ball. We were down a lot of bodies. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you were just trying to do everything to help the team. You were never a me guy. You were always a we guy. And I think that is something that's rare for somebody that's, in your shoes. And I appreciate that for you. So I wanted to share that with you personally, while I could look at you, to give you your flowers. But now, all right, so we finished the season. You were voted freshman of the year at Albright for obvious reasons. With a big freshman year, you end up leaving and going into like just talk to me about that whole situation, how that happened, the decision that went into you leaving Albright and how you ended up at Bakersfield College all the way in Cali. Like, where did that happen?
Yeah. That 2019 summer, man, fall was probably one of the hardest times of my life after college, or just in general, honestly. Just as a man, having to sit back and reflect and like look at all the stuff that I potentially have to put aside and just I just put my head down and pray and thank you God, ask God like to guide me and just look after me. So what really happened is that spring I had messed up my MCL. And then after my MCL, I was down all spring camp. So that set me back a little bit. And then my grades, I believe that fall or spring again weren't the best. Like just bad
Mm-hmm.
habits following and repeating each other. And I just had to look back. Why I keep making these mistakes? Like what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
That had put me in academic probation, which led to me, which I now realize, and like again, a repeating pattern. I started looking at everybody else, pointing fingers, and why is this happening? Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Then it ended up being on me again. So that at D3, when you give you scholarship money, you can't receive like a D2 or D1. You can't receive athletic scholarship. It has to be a merit
Right.
scholarship for academics. So my GPA did not reach that quota that had to be to receive that merit scholarship. And at the time, I did not know that. And I'm just saying, I'm talking to coaches, like, why my scholarship being cut this and a third? And I'm like, is it because of my grades? And they told me no. So I was on the assumption, okay, it's not my grades, but I got my grades up. My GPA went up, so it shouldn't be like this. And I really don't know the whole deal of how it happened and all that. So I talked to my mom and we had to pay extra. I'm like, we can't afford to go here. And that just really broke my heart. I'm like, damn, man. I was like, only if I just acted right in high school, like we wouldn't have to pay for no school right now, we'd be set. Just how I told you when I was younger. So I had to give Coach Marsky the call. Like, listen, I can't do it. He really didn't want me to go at all. I feel like it broke his heart just as much as it broke mine. He was doing everything in his power to make it work out. It didn't work out. So that summer, I enrolled to Mercer County Community College, which is close to Trenton, New Jersey. At the time, I had to get money to fork out money to buy myself a car, buy myself a little 2006 Volvo or something, a little hoopty just to get me around. I got to commute to school. I had a job working at Lifetime Fitness, working in the maintenance center. Just I'm cleaning stuff up, I'm folding towels in the bag, I'm doing laundry, fixing machines, all type of stuff. And one day at work, I'm like, this is the first job I had. This is the first job I had, not in general, but at the time. Then I got me a pizza delivery job. And then over the summer, I had got me a job as a pedicab rider. And I don't know, you might know, like guys in the city, you see them around on the bikes, you see the couples in the back.
Yeah.
So I was one of those guys riding people out on bikes all the whole summer. I wasn't even going out in all August. And Labor Day weekend, it really hit me. Like football started to kick off. I'm watching football, I'm riding these bikes. I'm talking to people in the back, mostly people in fact in the Brooklyn community and down there at the shore, just telling me about the stuff, like what they did for the upbringing and all this stuff. And it's like, man, I got to make something happen. I can't be living like this the rest of my life. I got to make something out of my name.
Yeah.
So that period is really hard for me. And then it was just a rough time I had to get through. And I'm talking to every single school that was recruiting me in high school that could have get me down. I'm like, listen, I left my D3. I'm at a community college. I'm not playing football right now, but I'm taking nine. I had to take 9 units in order to talk to schools. So I had to drop a class. So it set me back a little bit in my graduation track.
Right.
Talking to everybody, no one can do anything. They see the roster's full, they don't have enough scholarship money, or they need to see me play. So I met up with a trainer that my mom had actually found. My mom always made, I don't know how that lady do it, whatever I need or the issue, she would just make it happen.
Yeah.
So she ended up finding a trainer at one of the gyms. She talked to one of her training buddies. He had put her on with her. And I walk in the gym one day. I was like, "Mom, go check him out." So I go check. It's a lifting. I'm working out. We're not even on the field or none of that. He knew a little about the field. It's Reggie Bearden is his name, and that man also changed my life to how I got here. So we were working out one day. He's trying to get me these schools. He's like, "Listen, like I think you might need to go JUCO." And again, I'm like, JUCO? I'm not going no JUCO, man. Like people go to JUCO get stuck. I'm not about to throw my career away and waste my clock like that.
Right.
He said, "Nah, this guy. All the coaches are telling me, big D1 schools, D2. They're saying they just need to see you play." He said, "Why don't you go there, do 1 year?" He's like, "I know a coach, JUCO head coach in Bakersfield." I'm like, "All right, cool. Where's Bakersfield at?" He said, "Go home, check it. I'll get the coach a call tomorrow. Go look at it. Talk to your mom about it." I'm like, "All right, cool. Go home. Pick up my laptop. Bakersfield College." First thing I see is California. I'm like, whoa, that's not Jersey and Reading, Pennsylvania. That's night and day right there. That's not
Yeah.
in the backyard.
Right.
I talked to my mom, but she said, "I don't know about this one." She said, "Just pray on it." So I just continue to keep praying. And then I get on the phone with the coach, and he's like, "Yeah, we need to bring you out here. Like we can get you looks. We got guys to Big 12 conference, SEC conference. Like we can get you out of here." I'm like, "All right, let's do it." So that 2 to 3 weeks later, after I had that conversation, me and my mom talked about it. I talked to the coach, my trainer, and praying on it. I ended up going out to Cali that December. That January of 2020, I went out to Cali, Bakersfield.
Wow. And then you was Cali living from there on out until San Jose. And now you with San Jose.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, listen, I'm gonna upgrade, to get this 45 minutes because I think I could spend about 2 hours with you, man. But because I only got 5 minutes left, man, I'm gonna just say I appreciate you for doing this because I know you on a tight schedule with camp. I know y'all open up with Portland State. I'm definitely gonna be locked into you now, and you know that. But let me ask you one more question, man. Why five? Like, what makes that number important to you?
5. I remember picking that number 5. Uh, I never had no set number really. In high school, I picked 80 because Victor Cruz. Pop Warner was 34 because my coach thought it'd be a good number for me or a kicking number. And when you get to high school, you can really pick your number. All right, cool. Like, I'm one of the guys on the team I can pick my number. I'm looking at 5, 7, 1. Those numbers been around. Like everybody in this sub under program been more than numbers.
Right.
I'm gonna do 5. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do 5. And I just picked 5 and just guess. And I remember one day somebody asked me, "Why you pick 5? Why everybody call you J5?" And all of a sudden it's smooth. I'm just like, how many points is on the star? There's 5 points on the star. Like, I'm gonna be a star one day. I'm gonna make sure of that. And then 5's just ever been that. Then everybody been calling me J5, 5, 5. And I just probably hear that more than my own name all the time now. So
Okay, yeah, I thought it was like I said. I mean, that's tough. 5 stars. I ain't even think 5 points on star. I was just thinking like it was like a personal thing because you wore five, at your junior college, and then again, now with San Jose. But listen, man, like I said, I wish we got to do this again. I think a part two is necessary, man, at
yeah,
some point, you know what I mean? Just because, like, we had to cover so much in so little time. But I want to leave you with this. And I researched it. I think that, you know, coming from the journey that you had to take, and we didn't even really get into, and I had a chance to get into the whole JUCO life, which I think is another
yeah,
reason. Yeah, I trust me. I already know, bro. We're gonna definitely have to part two this thing down the road to get you to go more detail about that. But for you, I'm gonna just leave you with this. I googled this and I did my research. In 2020 and 2021, there, total there's 445 Division III players, and out of those 445, 30 or I should say 445 Division III schools. Out of those, 39% hold athletes. And out of those 445, 62% of the athletes were in the transfer portal. All right, now out from that transfer portal, only 18% transferred that were non-scholarship players. That means like Division III non-athletic scholarship. Only 18% made it to Division I, where you're at in football and in bowl subdivision conferences, that were actually on scholarship. And my brother, you're one of those 18%. So, for me, like, just researching that, knowing that you're one of a very few selected people that had the opportunity to go to that level, to Division I, to make it out the mud the way you did it, and to be in that bracket of people that can say that they're come from non-scholarship to get a scholarship. That's huge, my brother, and I commend you on that. I support everything you got going on.
yeah,
And you
man.
always know, if you need anything, to call me. And I'm gonna be looking out for you, Five. I'm gonna be watching you, very hard this year, making sure that you're doing exactly what you did at Albright and at Bakersfield and beyond, man. And I wish you the absolute best. And I pray for you. And I'm just thankful to say that I had the opportunity to know you and continue to know you. You know what I mean?
Likewise, man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna do this again for sure. I appreciate you hopping on, man. This is just another episode, man, that we just trying to get to reach the unreachable. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yes,
So
sir.
it's all love, man. Get your rest, and I salute you, my brother. I really
Nothing
do.
but love, man. Appreciate you, man. Make sure
Absolutely.
I'll tap in with Out the Mud, man. It's gonna be the next hottest thing podcast. It's coming up, man.
I appreciate you,
No doubt.
man. You already know, man. I love you, man, and you be safe, all right?
Love, dog. Tap
All
in.
right, man. Take care, buddy.